Big morning here, and this is a Fox News alert. There's a live look at the White House where just over a half hour from now, Eric Shinseki, the head of the VA, will sit down once again for the second time in several days with President Obama. The president, though, may be changing his tune a bit. We have no idea what the outcome of this meeting is going to be, but he did just finish a chat with Kelly Ripa and Michael Strahan where he was asked about this whole VA situation, and here's what he told them.
I'll have a serious conversation with him about whether he thinks that he is prepared and has the capacity to take on the job of fixing it, because I don't want any veteran to not be getting the kind of services that they deserve.
Joining me now is Jessie Jane Duff, a retired Gunnery Sergeant in the United States Marine Corps and a member of the Concerned Veterans for America. Jessie, good morning to you. Thanks for being here today. I'm curious what your interpretation is of what the president just told them on that morning show.
Well, I don't think that Secretary Shinseki is going to resign based upon his comments he made yesterday, which was very apologetic to the American public for this, and his claim that he wasn't aware it was systemic. I think he's trying to sugarcoat everything and butter up to Congress. So I really don't see that this is going to happen. I think he's going to go to the president and reassure him that he's got it under handle and he's going to not let it get it out of hand again.
Yeah, I mean, it seems rather clunky in the orchestration of this whole thing, because you've got Shinseki going out this morning and, as you point out, saying that the problems were systemic. You know, I try to imagine a CEO of a corporation saying, you know what, shareholders, I was just too trusting of all the managers across this country, and I'm sorry about that, and I'd like you to give me another shot. I do want to play. I just want to play for you. Hold your thought, if you don't mind, for 1 second, and get your reaction to Shinseki this morning. Let's watch this, and then we'll hear.
I've initiated the process for the removal of the senior leaders at the Phoenix VA Medical Center. We will use all authority at our disposal to enforce accountability among senior leaders who are found to have instigated or tolerated dishonorable or irresponsible scheduling practices at VA healthcare facilities. I've also directed that no VHA senior executive will receive any type of performance award for 2014.
Jessie, is that enough for you?
No, because I was fully aware of all these scandals before Phoenix. Where was he? There were executives that got $80,000 in bonuses in a period of 4 years, yet there were 5 veterans that died in his medical facility due to mismanagement. What about the veterans down in Dorn Medical Facility who couldn't get in on time for colonoscopies? This was in the press last year. What about the 53 veterans that died a day waiting on their benefits by the VA's own records reported that were waiting on benefits? That's 20,000 veterans that died before they even saw their benefits. Yet Secretary Shinseki wasn't aware of those? He wasn't aware there was a scandal? I'm just appalled that he's claiming that he was a little naive. I've been aware of it. Where was he?
Yeah, I mean, you raise great questions, Jessie, and I'm wondering what you think about the way the president has handled this so far, because it's been sort of, back and forth, the signals that he's sent on whether or not he's going to support him.
Well, it's been over 6 weeks since the Phoenix situation was brought to the American public's attention, and we keep hearing out of the president and Shinseki, well, we want to wait for the investigation results. Now they've got the investigation results. I'm sorry, why was an investigation not conducted several years ago? When Secretary Shinseki came into office, the backlog was just a little over 89,000 veterans. It skyrocketed to March of last year to over 600,000. Just 2 weeks ago, it dropped below 300,000 for the first time since 2011. The president's patting him on the back for lowering a backlog that Shinseki created.
Yeah, I have to say, you've been aware of these problems. We at Fox News have been aware of these problems. We've done a lot of interviews over the last 5 years about veterans and how mistreated really they are in this entire system. So my question for you now is this, perhaps the most important one of all. What do you do to fix it? What would you suggest?
Well, the first thing I noticed that Secretary Shinseki got a plug out for Bernie Sanders' bill to hold the VA accountable. Well, Bernie Sanders' bill is a bill. Bernie Sanders blocked the VA Management and Accountability Act that was on the floor of the Senate last week, which is a straightforward 3-page bill, 27 lines, that would hold these executives accountable. The VA isn't supporting that bill because they're afraid that they can't be able to recruit higher talent. Everybody write your senators and tell them to support the VA Management and Accountability Act. And let's start cleaning house. Get rid of these political appointees who have obviously had egregious errors on their part, and start holding the executives under criminal charges who are found to be at fault for veterans' deaths.
It's astonishing, really. And you lay it out so well. Jessie Jane Duff, thank you very much for being here today. We'll see what happens in the White House about 45 minutes from now. We'll be watching.